Heidi-ho, neighborinos! I know it's been somewhat of a dry spell, but your cybersecurity pal is here once again to take off the blinders. No, I'm not dead. No, I'm not in the witness protection program. And please stop the rumors about an alleged dating relationship with Salma Hayek, as I had to explain to Salma multiple times, I am a happily married man. Yeah, I just had some personal stuff going on, but for now, I'm back. Okay, I thought the last video was difficult to make. Lastpass, you are killing me. I've been a fan of yours for years, and you are killing me. I've been an evangelist of your product for almost a decade now. I've made videos extolling your virtues, and you pull this on me. Serenity, no! Serenity, no! What are you talking about, Keith? Well, a German researcher, Mike Kuketz, was investigating Lastpass and other password management systems, and he found out and reported that the Lastpass app on Android phones has seven trackers embedded in its code. What the heck are these trackers doing in my password manager? I mean that literally. What exactly are they doing? All right, let me start out with what this does not mean, and then I'll talk about what it does mean. The researcher did not say that Lastpass is selling your usernames, passwords, secure notes to anyone. Those are, to the best of anybody's knowledge, as secure as you can get. But what these trackers are, well, tracking, are things like type of device, cell phone carrier, your type of Lastpass account, and, quote, various data about the device, such as model, screen resolution, IP address, time zone, and information on whether ad tracking is allowed/not allowed, end quote. It also might be tracking your Google advertising ID, which is what Google uses to build an advertising profile on you. Now, this is bad, but I'm going to present the best possible case for Lastpass, and then I'm going to dish out some tough love. First and foremost, we have to keep in mind that the whole purpose of this is to put targeted advertising in front of you. That sounds horrible and creepy, I know. But ads are what pay the bills most of the time. And targeted ads just mean that the ads in front of you are for goods and services you might actually be interested in purchasing. No advertiser wants to waste his money paying an ad for, say, golf clubs on my browser window when I have zero interest in golf. That's what the purpose pretty much of all of this is. People want to sell you stuff, and they want to do it more effectively and efficiently. And to be brutally frank, if you care about people tracking your general information like this, you really need to get off and stay off of Google Chrome, along with Mozilla Firefox and Microsoft Edge. None of the stuff Lastpass is accused of collecting is any worse than any of those browsers. This is how these browsers, websites, and other goodies are free. Second, Lastpass is not alone in this. Mr. Kuketz also found some trackers in other PMs, such as Bitwarden, RoboForm, and Dashlane, just not as many as in Lastpass. he did find one password manager which had no trackers, which I'll get to in a moment. And third, there is a way to theoretically turn off these trackers in Lastpass, which obviously I'll link to in the notes below. Okay, but there is another reason this could be a real problem. We're pretty sure that the trackers are only getting the type of info we talked about a moment ago, but we can't be sure. And if any of the companies are using these trackers and they get compromised, then that could mean security problems as well. So what's Keith's response to all this? Well, I always try my hardest to be totally open and consistent about what I'm talking about. For example, a few months ago, I was talking about secure ways to pay people money. And I ripped Venmo in particular because of two things. One, they were selling personal data of their customers. And two, they had horrible security practices. Now, I went back and re-examined exactly what the problem was with Venmo. And to be fair, they weren't accused of selling people's credit card or bank data to bad guys. They basically were selling the same type of data on people as Lastpass is. I found an article just written recently about how, for example, they track your location and sell that type of data. But their security practices were, and still to my knowledge, really slipshod. And as far as I've heard, Lastpass hasn't been accused of that. Their security is still really good, and I totally trust them with my passwords and secure notes. But in all fairness, I'm going to include a note in my previous video in which I ripped Venmo and make sure I clarify exactly what my gripes with them are. I'm trying really, really hard to be intellectually consistent and honest here. In short, this is really disappointing to me. However, I'm not going to quit Lastpass, at least not in the immediate future. I have weighed the pros and cons of finding another password manager, and I've decided to stick with Lastpass for now. But, as I mentioned before, there is one password manager which Mr. Kuketz says does not have any trackers, and it's one of the big names. 1Password with the number 1. I did some research on it, and it seems to be secure and easy enough to use. It has most of the same features as Lastpass, but not all of them. Now, it has no trackers, but there is no free version of 1Password. As of this recording, it's about $48 a year minimum, which comes out to about $4 a month. That is more expensive than most of the paid password managers out there. But it has all the features most people would care about. It logs into your websites and apps for you. You can keep secure notes on it, stuff like that. If you do some research on this issue we're talking about with Lastpass, and you decide that even if you turn off the tracking, you are DONE, done with Lastpass, I totally get that. And 1Password might be an option for you. Finally, I need to clarify something I said in the last video. I said I strongly recommend that you don't use a free password manager. I still mean that, but I need to be a little more precise in my wording. When I say that, I'm not talking about the free version of password managers, which also have a paid version. Most of the big name password managers out there, including Lastpass, have a free version and a paid version with more bells and whistles. And that's perfectly fine. But again, I gotta point out that somebody's always gotta pay the bills. For this reason, I still strongly recommend caution about any totally free software or service. If they aren't charging you for anything, there's always a non-zero possibility that you're paying for it in other ways you might not even know about. Anyway, that's it for now. As always, if you want to be notified when I am posting a new video, then make sure to click the subscribe and bell buttons below. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and God bless.